This is the 262 podcast brought to you by No Sotros. Colin, it's good to have you back. Or me back, right?
Be back?
You're interviewing me today again.
Am I interviewing you?
Well, yeah, I could say that. Interview or... you drinking the Reposado today?
Yeah, it's really good normally. It's just warm right now. We are sitting outside. It's 95 degrees. Not quite.
Feels like it's 100.
Yeah, it feels like it, though. It's been cold.
Yeah, the pool's a lot colder than the feeling out here right now. It's hot. But, yeah, it's good to be back. Putting No Sotros back. We got their Repo and the Blanco out today. It's exciting. They've been a big part of our start so far. And if you're at any local stores, where are they at? Ralph's?
I saw the list today. Ralph's, Vaughn's, Food for Less, Gilson's.
Albertsons.
Yeah, Albertsons. There's like 5 others.
Like,
I should probably
Bristol
memorize
Farms.
that list.
Bristol Farms.
We did get that one from Carlos.
Yeah. It's he's drinking the Repo. I think I'm gonna pop up in some Blanco here soon in a minute.
I'm tired today.
You are?
Yeah, I'm just gonna be honest, so everybody knows.
Tired? Not feeling energy?
No.
Well, good thing I have energy today. I always do. But let's jump into some of the questions that we wanted to discuss.
Sounds good. Yeah, we're just going to jump into it from last time, really, I guess. I want to continue some of it. Yeah, resume. We're out here in Palm Springs right now shooting LGs.
Indio.
Yeah, we're in Indio, not Palm Springs.
Same thing.
Going to LG Steakhouse. Going to meet Dan.
Yeah, going to do a featured video there for their restaurant. Introduce them to that brand. And chop it up with him and see how his... he's got like a 300 or 400, 500 person... restaurant here in Indio. And then he's got another one in Palm Springs. So just wanted to see his journey, see how he's doing in this industry. He's right here near Coachella. So he has some input on that. And chop it up with him and see, create some awareness for his delicious steaks. I think he's got like 3,000 reviews on Yelp, 4.5 stars. So he's a prime house. So we'll get into some of the meats. Of how that works, and so you guys can better understand the meat quality and the levels to it. I think that's something that a lot of people don't know and are very interested in hearing. So, and it's a good way to understand what you're paying for. Everyone likes to know what they're paying for. I think that's super important. Value to me is everything, and you definitely want to know what you're getting and what's out there as far as if you're a meat lover. Colin cooked up some tomahawk and what was it, 2 ribeyes?
Yeah, 1 tomahawk, 2 ribeyes.
Yeah, I like the ribeye better. You?
Yeah, the ribeye might have tasted better. Honestly, tomahawks are overrated. Tomahawks just look good.
That.
They're just big. They look good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what
I would never say that on camera, but here I am.
Yeah. Colin says stuff every time.
Tomahawks are way overrated.
But for those of you who don't know, by the way, Yelp is like the what's the word? God damn it. Yelp is like the source of truth for restaurants.
Yeah, I agree.
3,000 reviews.
Yeah, 4.5 stars.
Way better than anywhere that has 2, 3, 4, 500 reviews. Yeah. 4.5 stars over 3,000 reviews.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I know firsthand it is very hard.
Yeah. And how many people sat in your restaurant?
Yeah, it's very, very hard to keep high reviews in restaurants just because so much room for mistakes. So,
how many people could you hold in your restaurant?
Like 100.
And he holds 5, so he has like 5 times the opportunity to get a shitty review, which is more likely than a good review.
Yeah. I'm always impressed by restaurant owners, and the bigger they are, the more impressed I am. And hats off to that industry for sure. It's a very tough one, very rewarding. But it's good to, now that we're sharing more about, I think a lot of restaurants go unknown. You don't even know about them. I'm sure most of you guys haven't even heard of LGs, but Colin didn't. Our job is to bring awareness to those brands and those people that have a story. And I think he's told me it's been around for like 30-something years. So long time. A lot of economies he's been through, and it's interesting to see how he does it and how big his staff is. I think he told me it was around 150 or 200 So that's just a massive staff, and like I said, we just want to bring awareness to what he's doing, and it's going to be exciting to see later on.
All right, well, enough about LGs. We're going to be back down there. We're going to be back in LG, or we're not going to be back. We're going to LGs in a few hours. We'll be there tonight to meet Dan, have some food, get some drinks.
Drink wine.
He's a big wine guy, but until then, let's bring it back here. So if you saw the last podcast or saw some clips, I don't know if we're even going to release it. I was asking Luke, about him. I think that's kind of still on agenda today. So, Luke, just jumping back on into it, who are some of the people you worked with? I know last time we spoke, we were, talking a little bit about your journey, but it was a little bit more about, like, the journey. And I want to dive in a little bit more about, like, what you've done, who you've worked with at that time. So, if you want to, jump in on those two things.
Some of my most notable clients, companies I've worked with, I started out with, like, Finish Line, Nike. That was with 262. Actually, we did some of their digital stuff and some of their print stuff, and then we jumped into from there. I went to got into like the restaurant scene. Did some Mike Trout's one of my big notable clients that I'm super proud about. That was a super fun one, super nice guy. Obviously, he's the GOAT of baseball, so. Serving someone like that, it was very, very, very humbling and exciting. And we served. He liked tomahawks, steak. What else? We had a few fillets, sides. He had mashed potatoes. It was a feast. And obviously, you guys all know who that is. Guy's huge, eats like a tomahawk to himself. For most of you that don't know, a tomahawk is 32 ounces, so it's quite some meat, and takes a real man to put that thing down. That thing is huge. Yeah, Colin almost did today, I feel like, but he left like a half. Was it half?
No.
Yeah, it was.
No. I finished my plate.
You did? No, it was still some left.
Always finish my plate.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a cool one. That was probably the most notable one. I worked with for Super Bowl 50. We did some stuff, some print stuff there. That was a super cool one. We did some stuff with Old Spice. That was a super, super, super cool one for sure. Did some stuff with the Angels. I've had some over the years and the different industries I've been in. I've had some very cool experiences. We did a Chop House food truck. We did Love and Hip Hop. They had a reunion in San Diego, and we did for their cast. I don't know who's on that show, but there's some notable people, and we were their full-time caterer, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I think for those 4 days or 5 days, I think I slept like a total of 2 hours. It was
fun.
Yeah, but opened up the top of the Chop House food truck, and the beach was our view, kind of like something like this. So that was cool.
Can't complain.
Yeah, we stayed at
except when you're driving down the freeway in that like food truck and you're like sitting like this because it sits sideways the whole way, 70 miles an hour.
You drove it? You drove it before?
Yeah.
It's like a UPS truck, baby.
Yeah, dude, way bigger than a UPS truck from
a lot of equipment.
Yeah, Hard Summer.
Oh yeah, Hard Summer. We used to do festivals. Those are cool.
To drive a food truck. So
yeah, those things are no joke. I don't even think I drove the food truck, and I owned it.
That's sketchy.
Yeah, those things are a lot of weight, a lot of equipment, a lot of food, and it's still very. They're huge, and it's still very small on when you're cooking in there. You think you can fit like. For Love and Hip Hop, we had like maybe 5 employees out there, and it was like super tight. And let me just tell you something: actors, actresses, very demanding. I don't know if it's like a I'm not paying for this flex, or if it's like I'm so and so, and I'm supposed to be treated like that. I don't know what it was, but. Yeah, I mean, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. And we're serving dinner still. 4 o'clock in the morning, I remember. And then breakfast was at like 5:30.
Damn.
So you got the
quick
producers.
turnaround right
you
there.
got I don't even know all the positions, but they were on like the clock 24 hours, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I believe it. For any of those like reality TV shows where they're sleeping and they're like got video cameras everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
I'm
It
sure
was
some
like
crews
it was like on an island in San Diego, and
Yeah.
it was
Love Island. I've seen a few of those episodes.
oh no, not Love Island, but
Same thing. They're all the same.
some island in San Diego. I forgot the name, and they were all staying there, and they would have people filming when they got up to when they went to sleep and everything in between.
Yeah.
So we were on I don't know what episode. I think it's like the middle, 6 or 7. You see the food truck in it. I might be smiling in it. I might not be.
All right.
I was pissed off, but
Wrapping the background though. So like, how did you get all these jobs? I mean, you started. You started somewhere. We hit on that one last time.
Yeah.
We started with the cell phone store or the mobile cell phone repair, mobile tech repair, and then from there, how did you start? Like, how did you transition into getting these jobs where you were doing your own solicited work for these people?
Right,
I don't know
right.
if you had your own service.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
believe you did.
No,
But you figured out a way to make money by leveraging other people's services?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Like
how
that.
how do you get these jobs?
I think like I always tell Colin, we were just talking about this. We talk about this every time we see each other. I think consistency, constantly reaching out. I think being curious and just trying. I think a lot of people are like, there's no way, or there's no shot that he's gonna give me the time of the day, and you'd be surprised what you can accomplish if you try and if you just put an effort in. I think a lot of people don't put effort in, and they blame, like I said, they're not good enough, or they can't do it, or it's a long shot, and making the impossible possible, I think, is kind of the what I kind of live by, at least, is just, even like I was telling him, it's a numbers game. 20, 30 people. I mean, there's countless amount of people that I reach out to that didn't respond or didn't go anywhere. And then, if I did 500 and 10% of that, that's 50 people. So you do the math. You can definitely bring some volume, bring some numbers into consistency and trying every single day. I think that's something that a lot of people around me can attest to, that I'm always trying.
Yeah, I've seen it. And like, for those of you who don't know, like, sales is just, it's literally the law of large numbers. I'm in sales. I work in sales full time for the most part. On the side, everything we do is sales, sales oriented. It's a great skill to have, but it's honestly just like, law of large numbers. You got to go and go and go and go and go. Expect 100 no's before you see that first yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And then once you hit that first yes, what do again? You go and go and go.
Yeah, for
and you get a little bit better. You get a little bit better, and there might be 99 no's and then 1 yes. So, you improved your chances by a marginal percent, but keep doing it over and over and over again. And all of a sudden you hit the strike zone. It's 1 company, 2 companies, 3 companies. Hey, now I have this is my experience. You're building your resume, but it's really just, it is your resume. It's experience, it's resume, and now all of a sudden it's easier to get those yeses. 1 yes, then 2 yes, then 3 yes. Then they're falling down like dominoes. It's the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But you got to have like that mentality to like keep going at it, because it's so easy to stop. I mean, I've been there for sure.
For sure.
It's so easy.
We talked
to
about that earlier. It was like it's easy just to give up, and it's easier to not do it, right? I mean, you know that, and but I think the success comes from consistency and being okay with no's. It's something a lot of people are not comfortable with. Is being told no. Bianca, my girlfriend, always says like,
No.
no, I shouldn't say no. no. She always is like, no, don't do that. Don't reach out. And I do it, and then every time I tell her, I even do that to everyone around me, like, see, motherfucker,
This guy,
see,
he
bitch.
does it all the time. This guy says it all the time.
And I think I feed off of that, like,
It's pretty
feeding
good.
off of like proving him wrong, right?
Yeah, it's like
doubted
that
me.
competitive, like,
yes,
in you.
yes. So, and even if I don't get that one, like, pushes me to get something else, to go after another company, you know?
Well, I mean, you got bills to pay, right? I know I do.
Yeah, I think touching on sales, I think sales, and we'll jump on something else. I think sales is the single-hand most important part of anybody's journey in any type of entrepreneurship or any type of business. I think if you don't master sales, you have no shot. And I don't mean to be blunt, but I think you have to be okay with talking to people. You have to be okay with reaching out. You have to be okay with being flexible. You have to be, for any of my customers, and they know this about me, anybody who gives me business, you can call me at 3 a.m. and I'm answering. You need something at 5 a.m. If it's possible, I'm doing it. And that's just hands out. That's just straight up how it is. Like, people even always say, like, dude, like, that's hard. You can't make that happen. Even if I have to take an L to make something happen, the impossible happen for them, depending on the importance of it, I'm doing it for sure. Even if it doesn't make sense for me financially or as a business, I'm doing it because I think in everything I've done, a lot of my clientele is, and maybe it's not the same ones, but those people have introduced me to those different people, and that started from my first business. I still have a good friend of mine named Edward, and that was from my first business. And you know, we're working on deals together and working on business, and that's all started from my first business. And now we're 9 years down the road, and here we are. Like, and it's the stuff we're doing now is obviously a lot more, a lot bigger, I guess you could say, than what we were doing then. Right? Then I was fixing his phone, and now we're working on, you know, real estate deals or investments and businesses and stuff like that, where it's the margins and the potential, I guess, are a lot bigger than what I was doing before.
Yeah, I think you're just looking for like a more secure investment, honestly.
Yeah,
like
all of us.
Yeah,
and I think the bigger the ticket, the more profit. I think that's what I fell in love with too. Is obviously I started selling screen projectors for $9.99, and then, you know, went into repairs. I went from my average ticket being $30 to being $100, and then went into selling print, and now my average ticket is, you know, in print and digital marketing, and now my average ticket is, let's say, 120, and then we run into restaurants and selling tomahawks and now my average ticket's 200. And, you know, I think, like, obviously the bigger the average, usually the more lucrative it is. Not in every industry as we've established that, but I think that chase is always there. And I think also finding passion for what you do. I can tell you I'm a lot happier doing what I do now and getting people on the camera just like this and traveling and doing this than I was fixing phones. So, I mean, that's the truth, you know. I have a lot more passion being here than I would be fixing your phone. Yeah. For sure.
I mean, I remember because you used to fix my phone.
Yeah. I fixed shit. God damn, I think I fixed like 5,000 phones. I do that shit.
Everybody's phone in Upland?
Oh, everyone's phone in Upland, Rancho, everywhere. I was going everywhere. I would go to Huntington Beach to fix a phone.
That's funny. So, yeah, I guess, like, moving that along about, like, you know, who you have worked with.
I think I'm missing a few.
How you got, like, started, but, like, also, okay, well, no worries if you think of them, mention them. But who's been, like, your favorite person to work with? Ooh. Why? Was it because they were easy to work with, or was it a cool project? Like, who's been your favorite, and why were they your favorite?
I worked with Matt Anderson, or no, I'm sorry, Matt Anderson. That's Matt Carpenter. He's a
Matt Carpenter's gonna watch this and be like, "What the fuck?"
He's on a baseball team. So
he's on a baseball team.
He's on the
Can
Blue
you
Jays,
specify?
Or he's on, I don't know what team. Oh, no, he was on the Yankees last year. He's on a different team this year. And back to that whole, I actually never went into this, but prior to, and I'll touch on this today, prior to cell phones, when I was 16 or 17, I don't know if you guys remember hoverboards. Probably most of you guys remember. So
had one.
I created a website and sold hoverboards. Sold like 300 hoverboards, and all these athletes, was when the time, I don't remember if you guys remember when the athletes were getting, the teams were banning them from using the hoverboards because they were falling. You remember that?
No.
Okay, so during that time, athletes were reaching out.
Nope.
You don't want any more?
Nope.
All right. Back to that. I think working with him, he played for the Cardinals at the time, and he was like the first athlete that I came across that was pretty big. He was playing for the Cardinals. He's on a pretty big $1 million deal, and he'd reach out to me to buy a hoverboard, and he wanted to buy one. I was like, wait, all the athletes.
On your first.
Yes. I don't even know how I got connected, but somehow I got Matt Carpenter's information, or he got mine. He reached out to me and said, "Hey, dude, you're the one selling the hoverboards." He lived in like Missouri, St. Louis, right? It's Missouri, I think. Mm-hmm. And I shipped him one. And that was the first time I included like online sales with shipping, and started learning that process. And I think that was one of my favorite, because it was the first one that I was like, damn, like, if I could sell to these guys, the team.
I sold to anyone.
Right. Like, these guys are just like you and I.
Yeah.
Like, they're just normal dudes that are really good at baseball or whatever, I work with Malcolm Jenkins he was a Philadelphia Eagle. I worked with him on a project. That was cool. But yeah, I think Matt Carpenter was definitely someone that changed my perspective on not only online business, but working with notable people that are just like you and I.
Okay, so if we're gonna keep it on the topic of baseball players, Matt Carpenter gave you belief in online selling, online retail, and then Mike Trout you into his house, but we still got Matt Carpenter still win tonight. Yeah. Mike Trout, you got that one.
Yeah, definitely. I think Carpenter was just like more like.
You instilled belief in you. He made you believe in yourself.
He's the reason why I was able to help people like Malcolm Jenkins and Trout, and Miguel Montero was another one. He was a champion for the Cubs. He came to we were in Arizona, and he came to our house, and I remember my family was like, wait, what the fuck, this guy's gonna go play?
I feel like we should
catch for the Cubs, and he's at our house like 2 hours before the game.
I feel like we should do, you should do like a little story time. It should be like a story, and it is called Matt Carpenter to Mike Trout. And just tell everything, like from in between, like your first sale to someone, both baseball players, both in the league. Yeah. Your first sale to someone who like instilled that belief, to the last person who gave you like, maybe not that I made it, like I know you're like extremely driven. It gives you like, it still instills like that, like, oh damn, like Mike Trout is buying from me, or like I'm serving him, like he's choosing me over the hundreds of options he has way closer to my house. I mean, he lives right by, the Red O's right there, Javier's right there, Mastro's right there, but he still asks you to come make a tomahawk at his house. Yeah, maybe they won't do that. I mean, but he could still cater their food. But like that story from like in timeline, just the
connection.
Yeah, that timeline though from one to the other would be really cool to see you lay out.
I remember Trout gave me his credit card, and I was like, dude, I used to fucking watch you on the TV, bro. This is fucking wild. Silver Amex, I'll never forget.
And, we all got him.
Yeah, I know. He's just like me and you. He's just like me and you. He's just fucking the GOAT.
Just hits fucking nukes.
Straight bombs for sure. Shout out DJ.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's cool too to be able to get connected to people like DJ. Like
DJ.
Yeah. And to like be connected to them through, and like all these people that we like do, like Mike Trout, like you said, all these people are very random. Like he just happens to be very, very good at baseball, the best ever at baseball. But he has a hometown. He grew up somewhere just like you and me. He has a little, like a young and best friend like that he grew up with, like, and people that and that's how you got connected to him, was his like childhood best friend.
Yeah, DJ was a good friend of mine, and he made that connection. Obviously, he tried my food and made sure it passed the test. And we came down. I think catered for him 2 or 3 times. So that was cool. I know they're not always into. They have a small family, so we're more of like larger scale stuff. Yep. So, but yeah, it was definitely a fun experience, and it was definitely humbling to know that someone like that just hit me up and he's like, "Hey, it's Trout." I'm like, or I think he said, hey, it's Mike.
Who's Mike?
Yeah, I'm like, it's Michael Trout?
Yeah.
Mike Trout? Shit, I wanted to just send him the goat emoji back, but, you can't fanboy. So
Goat, question mark?
Can't fanboy, so
Yeah.
you got to act like. But, yeah, that was definitely, I think it's growing up, I played baseball, and I definitely have a passion for baseball. I love baseball, and so getting that call or getting that text and being able to do that and feeding his family a few times, I think that was definitely something cool. But like I said, there's also a lot of opportunity elsewhere. I think a lot of people get stuck up in like just wanting to serve like somebody, and it's like, it's one of my good clients, Manny. He had me serve for his family of like 30, and he actually did it better than Trout.
Well, like, hey,
Manny,
hey, I believe it. Something
Like-
that we talked about is like, the more clout you got, sometimes the more free shit you get too.
True,
which
true,
is really,
true.
really kind
True.
of like ass backwards,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Like, why
I
are
agree.
the people who have more money getting more free
They should
shit?
be paying more.
Yeah, they should be paying
Some
a
of them are
premium.
actually asking for like discounts. I'm like, bro, you want a discount?
It's like the credit. It's like,
Like
having good credit right now. You got to pay a higher
Your
premium for
salary's
real estate.
Your salary's online.
Doesn't make sense.
Your salary's online, and we know how many M's you make. Like, you want to.
Fork
20.
over a few hundreds.
But there is some value. I will tell you this, not to beat on a subject, but I think there is some value in giving away some things, right? Like,
No,
I definitely
obviously.
didn't. Did I make money on the Trout deal?
I mean,
Probably
he bought
not.
your food. No, he
Probably
bought the
not.
food. We
Right.
just drove there.
Right.
Or you drove there.
Right. So he did pay me, but it's not like I got rich on the Trout deal. Like,
Yeah, you're not charging a premium to be
Yes.
serving Michael Trout.
And
You're
I
going to
fed-
serve Michael Trout with pleasure because
Well-
it is Michael Trout still.
and I fed him. It was like 4 people.
Yeah.
So it's like, how much can you charge for?
Yeah, exactly. It's a normal meal. They're normal people. They just didn't come into your restaurant. You just brought the food to them.
That's probably why they don't want to go into restaurants.
Yeah,
they probably
I
do
mean,
a lot of at-home cooking.
I would
imagine.
not. I would pay for someone to come cook at my house too.
Chef.
Yeah. I think the only better experience maybe, and I know that they're doing it now. Someone started it's like an Airbnb basically, but chef comes to your home for the day.
Those are cool. That's what we kind of transitioned into, is having the chef come, and I think that's super. I like that idea a lot better, because then it still feels like you're eating a home cooked meal, but it's getting cooked by someone other than you, and then the cost is also driven down, because then you just pay for, let's say, $500-700, $1,000 for the chef, and then you buy the food. Chef, as a consumer, you don't feel like you're getting the food's getting left there. So it doesn't feel like you're getting taken, and you kind of know what you're paying for, rather than being like, yeah, give me $5,000 for catering, and
Yeah.
I'll feed you guys. And as a caterer, right, your job is to make money. Obviously, you want to provide good food and good service. But at the end of the day, most caterers I know, they're there to make money, so they'll take shortcuts to make more money. Whereas a chef, right, you're buying your own product, you're going to the store, you're getting your own meat, and you're bringing that stuff, and he's using what you buy him, rather than it being like, all right, I'm going to pay you, and you're going to go buy it. So I think that, personally, that's the way I prefer to go, is chef in the house rather than a food truck.
Chef in the house, but you've also bought all the ingredients already yourself?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, are you going to invite him in and say, yo, check out my fridge, what can you make me? Or are you going to
No,
come in
no.
with like an idea?
No, like, we still create a menu,
Okay.
but it's just like, and then we say, hey, go get
Oh,
8
okay.
tomatoes.
Okay, I like that. Like,
Go to Costco,
make
save
sure you
some
have
money.
these ingredients, and we can make
Yes,
these meals
yes,
with that
yes.
ingredients.
We'll do a 3-course meal.
That's kind of a good idea.
Yeah, and
Someone
then you
have an
also know like how much you're paying, right? You're paying for the food, $800. Paying for the chef, $1,000. $1,800 dinner compared to a $5,000 dinner. I think there's some value there, right?
Yeah, just know it's not cheap. Like, it's not like
Oh no, it's not. for
you're
sure.
paying for someone's time at the end of the day. If they're a really good chef and they're traveling to your house, like, that's gonna be $500, $750, $1,000.
Yeah,
like,
in
it's
that
not gonna
range.
be cheap.
Yeah, I think that.
So is that in your future?
I mean, I'd be open. I can execute something like that.
You could execute.
Yeah,
something.
I could execute something
This
like
guy
that.
would find 15 chefs and make money off the chefs somehow, some
Well,
way.
I mean, like, if I'm putting it all together, right, that's back to sales. Like, I believe you should get, if you're putting it all together, you should get paid.
Yeah, no,
And obviously everyone's value is different. My value is different than yours. I might charge. I might think I'm worth $100 an hour. You might think you're worth $200 an hour, right? But I think, like I said, there is also value in helping people. One of the biggest things that I find with actually back to Manny is just like where he's at now. I think like I see him happy to be on camera. I think that's rewarding for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, seeing people get on camera that are not usually like that want to.
Yeah.
Right. Like get out of their comfort zone and get and because no one's comfortable on camera. It's not something you just jump on and do. It takes practice. I think it takes some heavy music 15 minutes before. Take some tequila.
Yeah,
It takes tequila for this guy.
Today. Whoa, excuse me.
Today.
I'm just tired today. It's a long day. It's hot out here.
Yeah.
I like the cold.
It is hot. He's a snowboarder, dude.
Yeah, I like the cold.
I'm a desert guy.
I like that. I just want to be in the water. Like, we're here in the
Jump
seats,
in.
and I could, like, right
Jump
there. No. Maybe for content right at the end, we'll have Riley keep the camera rolling, and I'll just
You want to jump in?
jump in. Yeah.
Everything on?
Nah, no shoes. These are leather.
No shirt on?
Shit. No shirt. I have to wear this tonight. Even though I'm sweating through it right now.
What if I give you another one?
Yeah, I'll take it, because these are sick shirts.
Yeah.
You could just, like...
It's old fashioned.
Let's do... Yeah, I know.
With a little cherry?
Yep, you can know the orange peel, too. Yeah, I see all of it. The orange peel is really good.
Yes.
Too bad this isn't a camera. I'd show the camera. Like, that's
Yeah,
right there.
that's one of like my proudest.
We should just drop a bunch of merch like this. Even Riley. Riley was like, oh, the shirt with the cocktail in the front?
Yeah.
Live fast. I mean...
I think he was the one that fucking made that shirt.
Live fast, slip slow.
Yes.
You designed it?
Yes.
Ah.
Yes. Yes.
What?
Yes.
All right, Luke, I'm going to start with this guy here.
No. Dude, I had the idea. Well, no, like I actually had the idea and he executed the product. That's the truth.
Yeah, no, it was a good one. That was a good one.
So, sometimes I'll ask Riley, like, hey, dude, like, I need some help with this. And it's good to have some different input because I think, like, everyone's style is different.
Yeah.
So I think, like, this is I love this shirt.
Yeah, for sure.
Sick.
No, it's fire.
It's way better than, like,
Clearly, he's creative.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. I think the orange peel, goes a long way.
The dots, it's crazy how you know it's an orange peel. It looks like a banana with a line through it, but there's a couple dots, and I know it's not a banana. It's an orange peel.
Dude, love it. Sick.
All right, but to wrap this back, keep it going in circles. So, like, you mentioned everything that you have done, who you've done it with, who your favorites have been, kind of what the journey has looked like. What's next? You're working with Riley now.
Yeah,
You're working with me.
We're
working with a couple other people we know about.
Yeah.
I think the move is something that looks beautiful like this, right?
Yeah.
What's next?
I think being patient and opportunity will come. I think it finds you. I think a lot of people, even me, right? You're so eager to go after it that you forget to just let it come to you. I think I've been a little bit more patient. I'm still working on patience, but I think one thing I've established over the years of my entrepreneurship is patience. And, one of my biggest ways that I confirmed that to myself was when I used to do podcasts or when I used to do whatever I used to do content-wise, I'd always want to get it out, like, tomorrow, right? And this was, like, the first project that I was like, hey, dude, like, let's just, like, shoot it and just save it in a vault and, like, let it flow out. Rather than, like, post it, get it out, like, let us get some different backgrounds, let us figure out our style, let us be patient with it. And I think, like, with patience, obviously good things come. I think, like, a lot of things are rushed and they're not really thought out. This is something that we have talked about for probably 6 months, and it's finally something we're executing on, and we're doing it, I would say, pretty strong. I think we're constantly talking about ideas to make it make sense for everyone involved. Nosotros is definitely someone that we want to grow with. I think Nosotros is somebody that has a lot of the same. When you talk to the owner, Carlos, or one of the owners, I think you find a lot of, like, respect for somebody like him who there's all these different tequilas all over, right? All these different people that start tequilas, and you have a kid, 30 years old, who's just hustling. I think that's inspiring to watch. I think that that's somebody we want to be, partnered with, and somebody we want to work on the same stuff together for sure.
Yeah, I'm super, super excited to have Carlos on
Yeah.
the podcast. I mean, just say something myself. This is such a good reposado. This is the only reposado I would ever drink, honestly. I just don't really like tequila too much, to be honest. And
Wow.
Blanco is a little bit easier to drink. But seriously, this is it's sweet. It's so it's on a 6-month fermentation. I did some coffee stuff, so I understand the taste palette, and really testing something for the flavor. And this reposado is so good. It reminds me of a whiskey a little bit, the sweetness. It's 6 months aged in a barrel. The Blanco's good too. Can't complain. But that reposado, I mean, my God. It's good, and it was his college. It was his senior project, right?
Yeah.
For when he was getting his degree.
Yeah. He was, and everyone told him no. And then what I love about this bottle too is just the design. It's really thought out. It looks presentable. It looks like something you and I would drink, right? And made me want to. Makes me want to drink it. It's beautifully designed.
That's really, really good. Yeah, it reminds me of there's I actually want to bring them on the podcast at some point. Tulum Cerveza, that's the beer company. It's a beer made directly from the ocean water out of Tulum, and it's delicious. And they have a very similar vibe that they give.
Cool.
That'd be
that
someone
intro.
else, yeah, that'd be another one that we gotta get on here.
In Tulum, huh?
Yeah, it's really interesting. They have a whole resort. It's based from the beer. The whole resort's based on the beer. You can go sit in a beer
What kind of beer is it?
beer spa. It's a light. It's just a
Only
standard
one?
yeah, they only have one beer. They might have an IPA at this point, but it's a light lager, and it's really good. It's honestly, it's super crisp. I couldn't it's been a while since I had it. It's 6 months now. Yeah, I think I was there for New Year's for my cousin's wedding. But yeah, it was delicious. That's someone else I think would be an amazing company to bring on. But yeah, their branding reminds me of each other.
Yeah, I think branding goes a long way, and we kind of that's
what 262 does. That's what you do.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's a product we would design right there. That's flawless. Hats off, Carlos team. I know I tell you all the time, but it's really inspiring to have something like that in front of us and a part of what we're doing. So thank you, Carlos.
Yes, sir. So I don't know if you answered the question though. What is in the future? What's the next
Oh,
project?
fuck, yeah.
Where are we going with this?
So 262 is definitely part of my portfolio right now. That's something that I think getting people behind the camera like this is super important. I think making that easier with businesses, because I think a lot of businesses, they don't really know how to identify themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying a podcast is what identifies you, but I think sharing what you do. I know one of the ways that we kind of discussed was bringing people on in different industries and having a conversation about what they do, rather than it just be oh, dude, I do construction, or I do okay, well, do you do electrical? Do you do turf? Do you do pools? Do you do new home builds?
Things, yeah.
Right. I think that's something that is kind of ignored, and so I think bringing on businesses like that, I think are super could be beneficial for the business, the local business. So that's what kind of 262 does, is identifies the business marketing needs and branding needs, and whether it's website, video, photo, drone, branding of any sort. We've printed those, designed those technically.
What, I got someone on me?
Yeah, something like that. And just giving it a clean look. I think there's a lot of stuff out there that's just rushed. There's no style to things. Let me tell you, to get this the way it looks right now, it took us 2.5 hours.
I'm tired.
Maybe not that long, but it felt like it was really long. And I think having that perfection of having this everything look perfect or look a certain way, I think there's a lot of value in that and how a brand is represented. That's super important for sure. And that's kind of, like I said, what 262 does as a whole is identifies those needs, whether it's a podcast, to an ad, to whatever a company or a brand needs, and executes that for them in a way. And I'm kind of the visionary behind it, and I plug in people to make that happen and execute what they're looking for. Because I can relate with business owners. I know, like I said earlier in the podcast, like most creatives, most graphic designers, like they don't want to be hit up at 12. Like, please hit me up, call me, text me. Like that's me. Like that's and
more or less. You're like.
And then I'll filter from there.
Yeah.
Of what gets passed down the pipeline, right?
So like in a sense, like you're like a freelance manager. Like you understand what these freelancers do.
Yeah,
and I mean, you've been able to appoint like the right people for the right jobs and produce a good product.
Only in digital stuff, I think,
yeah.
And like brands and companies, I think is where for me, I think the most value in is working and executing that because.
So you're really like a professional networker then. You've networked your way into appropriate positions and you've leveraged these positions in the right way, and you're a salesman at heart.
Yeah.
And so you've been able to professionally network your way and sell other people's skills, put them together and produce an actual product that these people didn't have themselves.
Right, they couldn't execute.
It took 5, 6 of them, and essentially you've built teams by delegating.
Yeah.
And through that ability to delegate, you've created, I don't know, in a sense you've created a service without actually having your own service.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
No, exactly. I mean, I think in the beginning it was mostly done in-house, and then as I started, I realized freelancers work better when they're not being told what to do rather than and being like, let's have a meeting about what needs to get done, and then as a team we can, what you think and what I think. Even with Riley, it's always like, it's not just what I think, like it's what we think together, and sometimes I push him, and same thing with you, right? I push you to like, I don't like that, and then we try it, and sometimes I'm like, it's opposite, right? Like, I love that or I hate that. And you're pushing me to like, all right, let me see if there's some change that can better identify or better present your company, your brand, and your you know, how you want to come off. Because I think there's a style to that, right? Like, not everyone dresses the same. Not everyone drinks the same. Not everyone drives the same cars. Like, there's a style. I mean, some of us, yes, we have to do things that maybe we don't have a choice sometimes. But at the same time, if you had a choice, I'm sure
everybody has a choice. Like, you chose not to go and work somewhere, and I chose to go work somewhere.
True.
And there's that security that comes with working a full-time job. Like, there really is. It's easy. Yeah. It's easy money. I mean, it's not easy money. You still got to work, put in time, put in effort.
I'm sorry, you hear that?
Yeah.
Easy money.
This is bad. Nah, it's fine.
It's hard money.
No, but you got to put in the time. You got to commit the time. That's the thing. Like, he was trying to get me down here all day long. He's like, you still working up there? Like, yeah, I worked for 8 hours, like, before we did any of this because, unfortunately, that's what pays the bills. And I got other things going on the side, and that's, you know, the goal there is really to just continue taking 2 steps up, 1 step back, 2 steps up, 1 step back. Yeah. I got a couple things on the side that I'm working on. Honestly, all things that everyone can do, and I've kind of, like not mastered, by far from mastering, but like that's what I'm working on. Is I've kind of become like that side hustle king. Honestly,
yeah,
like, I got the ads going on. Yeah, I got this going on. This is a side project on its own.
This guy, let me tell you, jack of all trades right here.
Sales.
This guy is.
What did I pitch today? What was it? Credit card processing.
Yeah, I mean, hey, like we said earlier, everything is sales. I think find a passion for what you like to do, and even if you don't like doing something, I think just doing it. If it pays the bills, do it until you find something you like. Take that money you make from there, put it into something else. And that's kind of what I've done is I get bored easily. I'm like, I think I want to do something else now, you know? I think there's a lot of I found a lot of passion in finding the next thing that I'm going to do. And there's so many things, right? I can create a product or I can create a product for someone else. And they both pay well, right?
Yeah.
Or they both could pay well.
I think that's the hard part for me, though, to be honest. I get not like analysis paralysis or, shiny object syndrome. I'm probably more of a culprit to shiny object syndrome than analysis paralysis. If I think something's going to work, like, I know how to commit on it for the most part.
Yeah.
Sometimes the difficult part is like finding the right people, right resources, right network. Not necessarily network, but like really like if you're producing an item, manufacturer, you got to do the work. Like if it's something like coffee, a perishable good, you got to find the producer. You got to find the origin. Many things. There's a lot that goes into it. Like, don't get me wrong.
That's just we talked about today creating a new business name, and we decided to go a different way. Not because we didn't want to, but just because there's so much time chopped up in creating something, and the business license and the EIN number and the website build and the product and structure, that sometimes I see this all the time. People don't even launch the product because they get so caught up in what it takes to do it. It's just so much work, and they haven't even sold an item. So if you ever start something, my one recommendation is start it, do it, and then go get legit. Start it before, and then go get a business license. I know that's probably backwards to a lot of people, but and I don't mean it for a long time, but make sure you have a passion. Make sure you would do it more than one time is what I'm saying. Do it twice, do it 3 times. After that, you realize, hey, there's something I'm going to do more and more and more. Go become legit. That's what I recommend. But start it first. Get out there. Start your product. Do what you want to do, and let everything follow.
You got options, though. Don't forget that, too. Luke kind of said, I'm a jack of all trades. A big part of that for me was going and failing and, going and doing a bunch of random stuff, building your own website. Getting an EIN number is free. Go to the IRS website.
Yeah, true.
You could go the Luke direction. You could use Luke, for example, as a service to set up your entire business.
Yeah.
If you need to know, you need to get a website, you need all the marketing content to make your business look legit,
T-shirts,
go to Luke. You need
matching uniforms.
Yeah, you need the back end stuff. You want an EIN, you want an LLC, you want all the paperwork, your CP 575 that comes with your EIN, your operating agreement. You want all that stuff? There's plenty of law firms and companies that provide services out there that you can pay $300 to, and they set it all up for you. And if you have $300 and you don't have the time, that's the route for you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Same thing with building out your own content. I built my own website. I flew to Colombia. I went to 50 different farms, and I took those pictures myself. I could have paid someone like I am now to do this, and the quality would have been so much better. But you have those options, and really you have to understand what position you're in today.
Agreed.
To make that better option for you tomorrow. But it's not going to be the same for everybody. So you guys got to, decipher that for yourself. But there's a lot that goes into it, and the resources are out there.
Yeah, touch on what Colin said, I think everyone's way is different. How you want to do it, just do it. Whether that's doing it, like I said, or doing it how Colin said, there's no right or wrong way. I think just doing it, I think, is enough.
It is hard to do it by yourself, though. I mean, You don't think about it. The first thing that, first random idea that I have thinking about everything that I did, sending emails out, automating emails. That is such an underrated yet necessary thing. You would not think. You're starting a business, you got all these ideas in your mind, you set up your email domain, you got your Instagram going, you got all these things, but you're not actually sending out emails. Why do you have an email domain?
Right.
You got to get a clientele list. You got to slowly accumulate emails.
MailMunch,
MailChimp.
Constant Contact.
Yeah, I could name fucking 15 probably.
They're all a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Then what software do you have that's monitoring your emails? How many people have opened them? How many people have opened them and clicked on the link? How many people have clicked on the link and filled out the form?
I think a lot of times too, the reason why I don't recommend those things is because you don't see any return right away.
Yeah, you don't.
So you're just looking at fuck, man,
get the product out there, sell it, and then become legit. I kind of like that. That's essentially what your method is. There are many ways to structure these things. You got to learn about them though. Podcasts. Listen to podcasts. Listen to people talk about it. Find someone on a podcast who's done it better than us. There are hundreds and thousands of people who've done it better than me. There are hundreds and thousands of people who've done it better than this man right here.
Yes, absolutely.
But you got to go learn. You got to take those steps and retaining information, and then don't get analysis paralysis. Don't get shiny object syndrome. Figure out what it is that you do like, and start taking a step forward every day.
Yeah. There's like we said earlier, go do it. However you want to do it. I think there's the most value in just going after it, for sure. But I think that wraps up today. Thank you guys for listening to the 262 podcast, brought to you by Nosotros. Celebrity-free, additive-free, gluten-free.
Gluten-free, that's the other one. I forgot it. Gluten-free.
Drink Nosotros, shop 262, and listen to BBB.